Hey, what's going on, guys? How's everything going? Come on in. Welcome yourself on in. I'm trying to get a couple things together here, but we're about to get started soon. How's everybody doing this evening? I had to take one of my naps, man. I had to give me a little nap in before the show started. It's been a long week. It's been a long week. Going into this new year, you're always trying to change a couple things about yourself and things around you. You're trying to just get things situated and you take on a little bit more. So, just trying to get things together. Had to take a little nap, man. I needed it. My sleep is all off. But getting comfortable, man. Feeling good. Feeling good. I'm glad you guys can join me this evening. I excited to have you guys on. I told you I'll be back, because we had a great show last night. Great show last night. And again, I appreciate everybody who was hanging out with us. It really, really was cool. And we're gonna keep this thing moving. So I know everybody's seen the news. We have a lot to talk about. I hadn't even had my show notes and everything together, but so much came down in the last few hours. Uh, you guys see the titles, you see what's going on, and we're going to talk about it a little bit, and more so how it pertains to football. Of course, I'm talking about the Stefon Diggs situation. Uh, Crazy situation, man. He's had a hell of a 2025. He's had a hell of a 2025, and it ain't looking good. It is not looking good. Um, and we don't talk about how that affects the Patriots at this point. You know, what do the Patriots do? We gonna get into that. Also, you don't see me moving my ears that as much. My earbuds. I actually finally changed the little bulbs on the earbuds so they can actually stay on my ear, so they're not sliding out every second when I move and talk. So you can see I move my head a little bit. I know it's big and it's taking up most of the screen, but it's cool. So these little buds, I don't know if you guys can see them. These little buds right here, you have to put the right size bulb for your ear canals. If you guys are headphone owners or anything like that, you have to put the right ones in. I had the wrong ones on there for the longest time, and they just kept sliding out of my ears. So I finally took a few minutes to put them on because they're hard as hell to put on. But finally got it right. They ain't gonna slide as much. They'll be a little bit better. So, like I said, you ain't gotta watch me fidgeting with these things all night. At least I hope, right? But how's everybody's evening going? People just getting off work, maybe an hour or so ago, or you're at work. Welcome to the show. Welcome to D Knows. We got a good one tonight. We got a good one tonight. And we got to talk about Mr. Diggs. Uh, we got we got that. We have Matthew Stafford laid a dud. Did it hurt his MVP chances? We got that. Steelers look like they're getting a major player back for this one game sudden death playoff game against the Ravens. We'll talk about that too. Troy Aikman has some interesting words about something that I've been talking about in videos for a while now, and they're still somewhat coming out. Uh, he's had some interesting words about the NFL, and we're going to listen to that. And maybe that'll be we won't start there. We'll start with the Stefon Diggs though. We'll go there first. So give you guys a chance to kind of get in here. Make sure you guys, if you can, helps me out a lot. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Come on, hang out at the practice squad. This is what we call it over here. The members, the community, we the practice squad. So, uh, want to give us a title, something we can, you know, it could be our thing. It's our thing. So, you know, we working on some things. But I like the practice squad. That's what we rolling with. So, hang out with us or whatever the case may be. Uh, Still trying to keep these earbuds in my ear. Thought it'd be a little bit better. They okay. Maybe I need to go actually a size smaller. That'd be all right though. Well, we about to get into it here. Let me pull up all my stuff here. Let's see here. We'll just pull up the broad report of what's going on with good old Stefon Diggs. And oh, by the way, I forgot his brother got released. So the Diggs family is having a tough go of it. A tough go of it. These today. So uh, we'll pull everything up here. Make sure I have everything together. Alrighty. Let's get it up. Let's get it up. If you're in the chat, say hello. You got questions about anything, leave it in the chat. I'm going to definitely do my best to answer every question. I appreciate you guys being here. So let's get it up. Let's get it up here. And let's see. I want to try this one. Bear with me. I'm trying something here, actually. Okay, I like this one. I like this one. It'll tell me how to make my layout coming out. Okay, so you can see me small, but you can see this pretty big. Let me know how you guys like this one. All right. So we got to get into this. We heard all the. I would say, I guess we woke up to the news of everything that's going on with Stefon Diggs. Of course, I'm not going to get into everything like the full on details of it. Um, this is all still allegedly. He, still got court. He still got all of those things. So all of this is allegedly until it's proven out in a court of law. But it does not look good. Of course, we got Ian Rappaport up here, right here. He made this statement. It was about noon when all this came out. And the situation happened, I think, like December 2nd or whatever. He was actually arrested Christmas Eve. And now we're hearing about the story. And Ian Rappaport has basically said the Patriots statement on the new legal situation for star Stefon Diggs. The New England Patriots are aware of the accusations that have been regarding Stefon Diggs. Stefon has informed the organization that he categorically denies the allegations. They said, "We support Stefon. We will continue to gather information and cooperate fully with appropriate authorities in the NFL as necessary out of respect for all parties involved. And given that this is an ongoing legal matter, we will have no further comment at this time." So we're not going to go into all the comments, but it's not a good situation. Uh, he's had that situation. He just had a situation. He had the whole yacht situation with the, you know, unknown substance, and they kind of let that be. They kind of got swept under the rug or whatever happened. Obviously he didn't get any trouble for this, but um, Stefon Diggs is starting to get that rap of a guy that you can't trust with your team, and you got Drake May, you got a second year quarterback who is really, 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 really relying on him to be his number one option. We all know Stefon, great route runner. He don't have the speed that he used to, but he can still get open. He got big mitts. He go catch the ball. Yeah, that's gonna be an issue. Oh, and this my DDM. Wow. Yeah. Pats need him for the playoffs. They do. They do. They need him for the playoffs. And he's in a situation now where I know that they said that the arraignment is supposed to be like January 20th, something like that. I don't know how the NFL does not step in just with the optics part, step in and say, there's no way he can play football. Because this is going to linger over the Patriots' head and it's going to linger over his head. Whether he's right or wrong in the situation, there's no way he's going to be able to play. I just can't see the NFL letting him play football with the allegations, and they're public. And now you have to figure out how does that affect the Patriots. Well, we got to go look at Stefon Diggs' um, stats this year. He played a hell of a game. What was that last week, where he was just getting open in the zones, catching everything. I mean, he's even been for the better or worse. We have not heard anything in New England. Like I said, outside of when he was in the off season, the issue that he had on the boat or whatever the case may be. But as far as being, in the facilities and the organization, we hadn't heard anything bad. Honestly, my expectation was he was going to be a head case sort of, but he hasn't been that. Teammates love him. Dre Mate has talked glowingly about him, and that it's just a crazy situation. Let me see here. Let's pull up Stefon Diggs stats. Stats. What is it? Stat. Okay. Let's go pull them up. Put this on the screen so you guys can see it. I mean, he had 101 yards his last game, 17 yards to catch, had a touchdown, 6 targets, 6 receptions. I mean, you would have thought Sunday he probably would have got a couple yards. He'd have got his 1,000 yards on what, 80 catches? Excuse me, on 80 catches. He's been steady. He's been a steady outlet for Drake May. And if Drake May loses him for any time, this is going to be a big blow to that New England defense. I mean, New England defense, that New England offense. Because New England, I mean, let's pull up though. Let's pull up their receiving core. This is what I would like to see. Uh, like Hunter Henry's been good for them. Let's see roster. So yeah, Hunter Henry is their second lead receiver. You know, the tight end. He got 712 yards. Mac Hollins has had a pretty good year. Uh, Kayshawn Booty has looked pretty decent. So Drake May has spreaded the ball around. But if you could tell, like Stefon Diggs is the clear number one. If he goes out and he's out for any amount of time, if he's out for any amount of time, Patriots season go up in flames because he's their true number one. He's the guy that can just go and get open. The guys around Stefon Diggs, like I said, Hunter Henry is a big part of their offense. But if you look at the Mac Hollins is not even close to a number one receiver. He's really not a number two. He's probably like a three at best. Uh, Kayshawn Moody, another receiver. They like really good receivers, but they're not game changer receivers. Like I said, Stefon Diggs, he don't have the speed that he used to, but you know they can't afford to lose him. Would you say? Yeah, they can't afford to lose Diggs. Yeah, they can't afford to lose him. They can't afford to lose him. No one can get off that line like Stefon Diggs does. And with this legal issue looming, they're going to have to. There's no way the NFL, if the if the NFL, just sat down DK Metcalf, which, by the way, find it mighty suspicious that DK Metcalf all of a sudden 2 game suspension turned into 1 game suspension, and now he's eligible for the Sunday night game against the Ravens. I wonder why. I mean, maybe it was the evidence that they found to say that this wasn't as big of a deal as we thought it was. I mean, we don't know why they would have did something like that. But happy for DK Metcalf. He was able to come back. I mean, you know, the injustice. And the NFL came to the air, came out, and they seen the error of their ways, and they said, you know what? 2 games, that's too much. We're gonna make it 1 game. Okay. Interesting. So back to Stefon Diggs. Um, yeah, I mean, if he's not there, what do they do? These guys aren't guys that can get off the line. They play well off of a main guy. And that's what Stefon Diggs is. How does that affect Drake May? I wonder what the game plan is going forward. And I mean, I think we're all going to be sitting by our phones waiting to hear what goes down. As football fans, like I said, we all parties involved. You just don't want nobody going through none of that stuff. But as a just purely football, it's not a good situation for the Patriots. And if I'm not mistaken, let me take a look here. See if we can get the standings. So I think they've clinched. It looked like they've clinched. Let's see. No, they actually need to win Sunday to see if they can get home field advantage because they still got to deal with the Patriots. Well, the Patriots. Patriots is still there, and you got to deal with Jacksonville, which is a game back. I don't know who owns the tiebreaker there. And then you got Denver right there at 13-3. You got Jacksonville at 12-4, and then the Patriots are 13-3 themselves. So you know he's really needed. He is really needed, and I don't know how they go about this situation. I don't really. It's gonna be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I mean, who can really step up in Stefon Diggs' place? To be that guy who can, just garner that much attention. What, maybe Hunter Henry? You know, make it where, they can kind of try to bracket him a little bit and maybe let the receivers get some free releases. But if they don't have Stefon Diggs, this season may be over early. And honestly, let's see who they play Sunday. That's what I need to know. Let's see who they play. I thought they had the schedule on there. Let's see here. So they play the Dolphins. Dolphins isn't a great team, but they gonna put up a fight. They gonna put up a fight, and they need that game bad. I'm thinking that the league is gonna have a ruling by tomorrow's Wednesday. They're gonna have some type of ruling by Thursday on Stefon Diggs, just for optics reasons. So the Patriots really need to go win that game because they're going to need that bye if they can pull it out. Or I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the tiebreakers and all of that, but they're going to have to figure that part out because I just see the league will get involved some way somehow. The league will be involved in this situation. Any Patriots fans out here, you know, come leave us something in the chat. Let us know what y'all thinking up there in Boston because this is a rough situation. Y'all guys rolling. I mean, Drake May looks like the real deal. Like I wasn't even high on Drake May coming out of school like that. I'm gonna be totally honest. I saw all the athletic stuff. I seen some things he could do, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. But I didn't think he was going to be like this. He can make the throws off platform. He can sit in the pocket. He can dissect. He got all the tools. Honestly, this team is good enough to, the defense plays decent enough. The offense is pretty good. With an open AFC the way it is, why couldn't they make that run to the Super Bowl? It's definitely possible. Why couldn't they make that run to the Super Bowl? But if they're losing Stefon Diggs, this is going to be tough. This is going to be a tough blow. Let's see what you say here. Buddy, thanks for leaving a comment. Welcome in. Appreciate you coming through. You said innocent until proven guilty. I don't think they can make a judgment on it this year. I believe it's just someone trying to get money out of them. Luciana plays out. I mean, listen, that's why even when I started this, I agree with you. It is innocent to proven guilty. But here's the thing. There's a lot of stuff around that. And like I said, I'm not going to go into it on here. But let's just say for the reasons of optics. Remember, the NFL is still a business. Remember that, believe it or not, that they are trying to sell a family friendly product. This is why you don't see people getting uh, Turkey Jones, Terry Bradshaw no more. You don't see the Ronnie Lott hits like you used to. I mean, they still cleaning each other up coming across that middle, but it ain't as bad as it used to because they're trying to have a family friendly product that that travels, that becomes a worldwide product. So I wonder, I wonder if the NFL has anything in their rule book, and that's something I'm gonna have to go look at. I'm gonna try to talk to somebody about it. Is there anything in the rule book that says conduct detrimental to the league? It makes us look bad. You know what I mean? Is that a thing? We see that's the part that I don't know. I'm gonna try to look it up. Uh, if you guys know, leave it in the chat. But if it's something conduct detrimental to the league, what if they just say we're not even suspending you right now? We just want to sit you back until this gets cleared up. Well, whether it's a suspension or not, Drake May still don't have them to throw to come playoff time. So that's the thing that I'm wondering. You say, let's see how it plays out. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, buddy. Like I said, like I said, I've Patriots fans. I know you sick because this team is starting to really roll. They're starting to really figure it out. And Drake May he's that guy. And like I said, he got good weapons. Stefon Diggs is his best weapon, but Stefon Diggs is not in his prime no more. But he's really good. You know what I mean? But if he has to go sit for a couple games, where does that lead them in the playoff run? Like I said, there's not even a real number two on this team. Like I said, Hunter Henry, still a very, very good tight end, all those things, but they don't really have a number two that can just step up and be that guy. They really need Stefon Diggs to be there in order for this team to kind of roll like it should, like it's starting to. Let's see. You say they won't do anything without clear evidence of wrongdoing. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because I need to, because I didn't know. I know we know how business go, and the optics. They'll say something about optics, and you know. Thank you. Yeah, I'm interested to see. Okay, so let's just say he does play. Now, how much does that affect him mentally going forward? You know what I mean? Like, Does that become a distraction in the locker room? Does uh, Mike Vrabel, how many questions is Mike Vrabel going to have to feel about this whole situation? You know what I mean? When they're on primetime TV, like I said, and that's a whole other thing. We're going into the playoffs. It's only going to be but so many games, so every game is a primetime game. They're going to bring it up every game. So I wonder how that affects his teammates, affects that Patriots locker room, the organization going forward. That's that's going to be interesting. It'll be an interesting situation, to say the least. And we go stay tuned on it. But we definitely got to get to our next subject, and I want to pull this up. So I'm actually listening to this with you guys. Let me see. We got one more comment before we go into this next topic here. D, you say that's true. May deal with it after the season as much as they can if nothing is proven. I just hope the accuser isn't lying. We've seen it before. Yeah. Yeah. And the funny thing about the whole thing is it's like whether they telling the truth or they telling a lie, now it's still a dark cloud over the organization, and they got to deal with that going into the playoffs, whether they let him play or whatever goes on. That's just going to be an interesting situation for him. I've never seen this happen. We've seen a lot happen in the NFL, but it come at this time, on the brink of the playoffs. I mean, we'll see what happens with this situation, but if they lose him, which according to what's been, sent in the comments that it looks like he'll be able to play. I just want to see how this affects his team going forward. But we're going to jump into the next subject because I did put Troy Aikman in my thumbnail, but we definitely got to talk about this. And they said Troy Aikman was pretty much lobbing grenades last night about quarterback development. Now, if you know me, this is something that I've been talking about for the last few years about quarterback development. So we gonna listen to Troy Aikman, and then we're gonna break this down. So let's just jump on into it. Let's see, make it happen here.
And we've talked about it. We talked about it last week with Kyle Shanahan and what he's done with the 49ers offense. There's others around the league, and Sean McVay is another one of those great offensive minds. And for Matthew Stafford to get the opportunity to play within that scheme, good for him. Yeah. And, there's a lot of quarterbacks in this league and over the history of this league that never got that opportunity to play for someone like Sean or some of the others that are so talented.
There's a smile on your face when you're saying that. I see, you know what I mean? That seems like hype.
I say it from experience.
Yeah.
Because North Turner came in my third year in the league, totally turned our offense around, turned my career around. Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith would tell you the same thing. So yeah. I think there's been, and this has always been debated, I guess. I think there's been a lot of quarterbacks that have been drafted high who have left the game and have been labeled a bust. And I think it's unfair because I do feel that organizations and coaching has failed quarterbacks more than quarterbacks have failed organizations because I've been there. I've been around the best of the best, and I've been around others that aren't as good.
Wow. Wow. Trademan said a lot in that minute and 10 seconds. Hopefully, I don't catch a copyright claim for that, but that's okay. I'll delete it out when it's time. But Trademan said a mouthful. Quarterback development is garbage in the NFL, and it starts all the way down to high school and all the way up to the NFL. You know, they create these 7-on-7 academies where guy can't be touched. You know, he's just basically, I call it free throwing. You know what I mean? It's nothing to it. You know, no pressure on the guys. They shoot out the shotgun pretty much. You know, just throw it to the open guy. They have a guy maybe defending them, but there's no pressure bearing down on the quarterback. So the development has been uh, the development didn't start there, right? So now you go into taking these guys out of high school and you put them in college, right? And they're not developing at the college level. So this quarterback has all this talent, and he's an athlete. Athlete. They want to scheme their offense around the athleticism versus teaching the quarterback position. So, perfect example. Anthony Richardson. We can take Anthony Richardson for example. Anthony Richardson at Florida, completion percentage was only 50%. He literally was make one, miss one. He was like the Shaquille O'Neal of the quarterbacks at the free throw line. Make a throw, miss a throw. What they say about Anthony Richardson when he came out? Oh man, he's a hell of an athlete. He can throw a ball 80 yards down the field. He can backflip. Everything but throw the ball on time and process the field. But the coach said, man, he's a freak athlete. He's 6'5", he's 250. He reminds you of Cam Newton and all these other things. And these earbuds are still, we go get them right. Uh, he's the next Cam Newton. And I remember saying it then. Where? Cam Newton threw the ball well at Auburn. He was a nightmare for everybody. You talk about the same Cam Newton that took Auburn that was not doing anything to winning the national title. He was a one-man wrecking crew. And you comparing that to Anthony Richardson, a Florida team that struggled that year. He only threw for 50% pass completions, and a lot of his touchdowns was run touchdowns. So when the coach drafted him, I said in my head, surely this is a project. They're going to sit him for a few years, let him learn behind who was the quarterback? Gardner Minshew. Let Gardner Minshew take all the slings and arrows right now because Anthony Richardson is not ready. You're not really going anywhere, you know. And I think Gardner Minshew had played well because Anthony Richardson ended up getting hurt when they started him, if I'm not mistaken. And they played well when he went out, but they want to start him right away. Well, you're not going to tell me that you didn't watch the tape and see what he was in Florida, where it's a totally different game than being in the NFL, and said that this guy is ready to start. He wasn't ready to start. He never was. He needed so much refinement to his game. His accuracy has been god awful. He can't hit the side of a barn. Can't throw a ball into the ocean. it is what it is. He is not good right now. But if he sits for a minute, and you give him time to learn and actually develop, because the development has been, has been stymied over the last few years, then you get a franchise quarterback. Why are you, right? You get a franchise quarterback that's not ready. You've invested a number one pick in him. You feel like he got some good tools, but yet you don't let him develop. So you rush him in there, you make him look like a fool. You got the fan base turning against him. You got the fan base turning against you as an organization. And then you got to go call 45-year-old Phillip Rivers out of retirement to come play the quarterback position to try to position you to get into the playoffs. That's stupid. Where you could have literally still had the same situation. You could have had Gardner Minshew, had him for that time. If Daniel Jones came free the way he came free, you could have still brought Daniel Jones in and let Anthony Richardson sit. He's a guy that needs to sit about 3 years. Enough of these organizations thinking that these quarterbacks are about to come in as rookies. Troy Aikman said it. My career would not be my career if Norv Turner was not my offensive coordinator. People don't remember this, but Norv Turner was the equivalent of Andy Reid back in the early 90s. His offense was so innovative. And he put all those guys in the best places, put them in their best positions to win. And they won 3 Super Bowls out of that. They won 3 Super Bowls out of that because they knew how to develop Troy Aikman and get the best out of Emmitt Smith and get the best out of Michael Irvin and what's my boy's name? Alvin, the other wide receiver. Mine's slipping me right now. But they had talent, but it's a difference between having talent and being able to execute with that talent. Anthony Richardson has a lot of talent, but if they haven't developed them, it doesn't matter. You could go to Pittsburgh when they had Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett may not have been the ideal guy, but they damn sure didn't do him no favors trying to develop him. What was Tecmo Bowl Matt Canada developing? Nothing. He can't even get a high school job. So imagine if Matt Canada can't get a high school job trying to develop an NFL quarterback. And you wondering why all these quarterbacks failing. You wonder why you're seeing the Sam Darnolds, you're seeing the Baker Mayfields, you're seeing the Geno Smiths, you're seeing the Daniel Jones, all become 2.0 versions of themselves because they were not developed at the high school and the college levels correctly. They running these gimmicky offenses that can get them wins, that can make their coaches look good, make the colleges look good, et cetera, et cetera. But they're not even thinking about the quarterback. All they going to say is, hey, see, my university, we had a first-round quarterback. We had a first-round pick as a quarterback. See, Daniel Jones came out of Duke. He was a first-round quarterback. Daniel Jones' career was on its deathbed until he was able to go where? To Minnesota, to a quarterback whisperer, and Kevin O'Connell, sit for a year, learn the game, help learn his game, some nuances, whatever, he put into his bag. He learned, came to Indianapolis, and for the first half of the year, he was an MVP candidate. I wonder why. And we talking about Daniel Jones had been in the league for almost 5 years. Sam Darnold, they said he was a bust. He was done. He came out saying he was seeing ghosts. It was all these things going on with Sam. Sam makes a ride. He go to Carolina. He's all over the place. Then he goes to Minnesota. Revives his career in Minnesota. Gets paid. I was even skeptical of Sam Darnold leaving Minnesota to go to Seattle. Because I said, Minnesota still had the training wheels on him. He had all the weapons there. Now he's going into no man's land where he don't have a quarterback whisperer with him. Yes, he got JSN, who is amazing, but he coming into a new offense and he was just starting to get his legs under him. Sam Darnold about to go win another division, and he's looked good this year. Had a defining moment game against the Rams, coming of age. Baker down there in Tampa Bay writing his own story. Does it look good right now? No, but Baker's hurt. Baker trying to play, but that's another story. Mac Jones in San Francisco. Who? Mac Jones in San Fran. Came in for Brock Purdy. Not only kept the ship steady, but he won some key games. Now, guess what? Mac Jones in free agency, he's going to get a nice payday to be somebody's starter. But they said he didn't have it in Jacksonville. See what I'm saying? It's a trend. This is a trend. These quarterbacks aren't getting developed. These organizations want these quarterbacks to be ready from day one. They're not. I don't care if you draft them number 1 or you draft them in the 5th round. 9 times out of 10, that QB is not going to be ready. He may do some things well. He may even have a Jaden Daniels run. But even when you see Jaden Daniels going to that second season, film out on him, now he has to learn how to counter what the defense is throwing at him. He don't look like season 1. He don't look like his rookie season. Oh, you like to run out the pocket? We gonna punish you. Now he got injury, stuff like that. So now when he comes into season 3, he's gonna probably be thinking a little bit differently. It takes time for these quarterbacks to develop. We see Caleb Williams. They said he was the next Patrick Mahomes. It took a Ben Johnson to come in and start to restructure the way Caleb Williams play. You say the backyard plays for when you need them. Be that type of special when you need to. I need you to be a consistent quarterback. And if you go look at Caleb Williams' numbers, he's still learning how to be a quarterback. He isn't throwing in the high 60s, the mid 60s. I think he's like in the 50% completion rate. So he's learning how to be consistent as a quarterback to run the play sets that Ben Johnson wants to run. See how heavy they lean on that run game? Excuse me. See how they lean on that run game? They lean on that run game because they want to keep Caleb Williams safe. They don't want him making bonehead mistakes because guess what? When he was at USC, they give Caleb Williams the ball in the shotgun. They tell him just run around in the backfield and just throw it up and hope you make a play. Well, he can flick it 90 yards down the field. Does that matter when he throws it to the other team? No. So he had to development. And that's what these organizations got to get back to. This is not some old fast food microwave thing where you're going to draft this quarterback. He's going to be the savior of your franchise as soon as you put him on the field. Maybe he will be your savior of your franchise, but you got to give him a chance to develop. I mean, if we look at that draft that Kenny Pickett and all them was in, what was that, 2022? It would look like Brock Purdy and Malik Willis need to be 1 and 2. But no one's seen that coming. By the way, what system is Brock Purdy in? Shanahan system. Malik Willis left Tennessee. Said he ain't have it. We gonna ship him off. Shipped him off to Green Bay. Got under Matt LaFleur, who's under what? The Sean McVay tree, showing him how to be a quarterback. And now he's going to get paid this offseason. To the point that they asked Matt LaFleur, would they consider Malik Willis going, is he better than Jordan Love? Like somebody actually came on and said that. And of course, Matt LaFleur answered it the way he answered it. But that's called QB development. The next guy going to get that QB development is going to be Will Levis. Somebody's going to take a chance on him and bring him in the system, sit him down and say, this is what you do well, this is what you don't do well, and we're going to work on these things, and we're going to tailor a system to your needs, and we're going to work on them kinds of your games, and we're going to fix that too. He's going to be the next project. So, in a nutshell, Troy Aikman hit the nail on the head. People, stop looking for these quarterbacks. I don't care if it's Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore, whoever it is. I did a video on all the quarterbacks that's on this page. You can go check it out. These quarterbacks in this draft that's coming up have talent, great talent. But don't let these people out here in the media tell you that these guys aren't worth nothing because they hyped them up and said, this is going to be the greatest quarterback class of all time. What's stopping him from not being the greatest quarterback class of all time? I don't care who you bring in, Garrett Nussmeier, any of those guys, they're going to still have to be developed. They're probably already going to be, if they're picking high, they're probably already going into bad organization. You telling me right now that Fernando Mendoza is going to go to the New York Jets and take a, 2-14 team, and he going to turn them into 7 wins by himself? I ain't even trying to hear that. Dante Moore going to go to the Browns. Possibly. And he's going to change what he's doing? He's going to change the Browns' fortunes? Or do they have to learn how to develop quarterbacks, stop looking for a savior, and develop the whole program in Cleveland? See what I'm saying? It can't be both. You cannot look for these guys because you draft them in the top 5 to be your savior. They can be a possible savior, but you got to develop them. So, enough of my tangent. I had to say what I had to say on that one. I just want you guys to understand. Just look at it for yourself. Don't even take my word for it. Look at it for yourself. Look at the NFL over the last, I'm just going to say the last 5 to 6 years in itself. Go look how quarterback play has went down. It's not what it was. Because they're creating these offenses to hide these quarterbacks' flaws versus really working towards making these quarterbacks better. Seeing the field, processing the field, being able to audible at the line and not look over to the sideline, all those things. All those things you saw, the Peyton Mannings, the Drew Breeses, Ben Roethlisberger's, da-da-da-da-da, list go on. We only have a couple of those guys in the league right now. You say the Eagles? Yeah. I mean, you even look at that situation in Philadelphia. And that's a good point, D. You look at that situation in Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts is not a elite quarterback. Jalen Hurts he's an average quarterback that could be above average at times. But he has so many pieces around him that it kind of covers up for what he does. I mean, he threw for 110 yards last Sunday. And he was over there puffing his chest out. The week before, oh, he was talking tough. Then he played the Bills. Super Bowl contending team. That's going to hone in on what you don't do well, and they're going to put you in situations to make you uncomfortable. He didn't turn over the ball, but he didn't do anything to put them in a situation where they was playing winning football. It's just what it is. He's not an elite guy. Now, listen, you're not going to get an elite guy for every team. You know, we ain't seen Super Bowl runs with guys who, I mean, did we see Kerry Collins? Did Kerry Collins get to a Super Bowl? I want to say he did. So, I mean, you're going to see guys like that pop into a Super Bowl. He is just Jalen Hurts is just a piece of the puzzle in Philadelphia. He definitely ain't the train conductor, though. That team in a whole, the way Howie Roseman put that team around that's why that team goes the way it goes. AJ Brown or any one of them guys go down and he has to be the guy that makes the magic happen, it ain't happening. So that just, good point. Good point. So we're going to jump into our next little bit of news. I think we got to talk about TJ Watt. TJ Watt looks like he's on track to be back for the, as Mike Tomlin called the AFC North Showdown. Oh my goodness! Let's see if we can listen to this. Let me go pull it up for a second. Let's see here.
All other guys I'm about to mention. Specifically, I'll talk about some injury updates and give you some updates of where we are from a personnel standpoint. Darnell Washington is out. He had surgery on his broken arm this morning, and so he won't be available to us. Thankfully, all other guys I'm about to mention have some level of optimism in terms of their availability. Calvin Austin, who missed the last game with a hamstring, definitively has a chance. Brandon Eccles, same thing with his groin. James Pierre, same thing with his calf. Isaac Siamalu, same thing with his tricep injury. Malik Harrison's got a bone bruise that was sustained in game. It may limit him at the early portions of the week, but optimistic certainly about his inclusion. And although I hadn't seen TJ today, optimistic about his potential inclusion in this game. We'll work him up throughout the course of the week and let the amount of participation and the quality of participation be our guide in terms of whether or not he's a participant, but certainly am more optimistic this week than I have been in previous weeks as I stand here today.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God. Man, listen to Mike Tomlin. It's like, it's like he's giving his final argument in a court case. Man, can't you just give us the injury report? What is all of that? I told you. You see these? Oh my goodness! What is all that? Bye Tomlin greatest hits video coming soon. It's coming soon. Man, that video was 1 minute and 1 minute and 10 seconds. Why I say like it was 20 minutes? He crammed about 15 minutes of words in a minute. Oh my goodness. So, as he said, TJ Watt looks like he's going to be a participant, in the components and the schematics. Man, come on, man. What are you talking about? So TJ Watt looked like he's gonna be ready. He's gonna be ready for Sunday. And it's interesting to see how he's gonna look in this game because he's coming off something with his lung. This isn't like a break, or a sprain or something like that. He's about to be out in that cold air with just coming off a surgery, lung condition, and all of that. I wonder how he's going to handle that because it's supposed to be cold this weekend. I mean, it's pretty cold now, but it's going to really be cold in Pittsburgh this weekend. And I'm just trying to see that air going into his lungs, this repaired lung that he had collapsed. How is he going to deal? Is he going to be on the snap count? You know what I mean? Is he fully healthy? And this is why the Pittsburgh Steelers, this is why I said it was a fireable offense, because had the Pittsburgh Steelers went out and took care of their business against the Cleveland Browns, a team that ain't going nowhere fast, had you beat them, you would have had a proverbial bye week for week 18. You could have played whoever because you would have just been ready to go into the playoffs. But Mike Tomlin, in his infinite wisdom, I seen a play too. Oh man, I seen a play. Oh jeez, I saw the play at the goal line, and I don't know what down it was on, but Aaron Rodgers had somebody wide open on the side that Myles Garrett was rushing from because they catered the game plan so much to going to the right side of the field, running away from Myles Garrett. He had a guy wide open in the end zone and missed him because he didn't want to be sacked. And the Steelers organization did not want to give up that sack record to Myles Garrett. Crazy work. That's fireable. Fireable offenses right there, just all around. But why would I be surprised? It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is what they do. I would not be surprised. No surprise here. No surprise here. And let's see what else we have. I think I wrote down everything. Let me see what I got in here. Give me 1 second here. Let's see. Then we got to get into the other Diggs, actually. We got to get into the other Diggs. Like I said, the Diggs family is a football family. It ain't been a great year for them. Man, I think Trevon got hurt trying to mount a TV. Trying to mount a TV, and the TV fell on his head. Oh, man, that is... Man, only in Dallas stuff like that happen. Only in Dallas stuff like that happen. Why are you mounting the TV when your body is $1 million body? You can call somebody to come do that. So We gotta look at the full story on this Stefon Diggs thing. We're gonna walk through this one together. I know it was released. I didn't even go and look into it. And we could look at the possibilities of possibly where he could go. Let's see if we can find a reason. Okay, so here we go. We're going to pull up Mr. Jordan Schultz. Oh, I don't like that landscape. I like it like that. Make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. All right, let's see. Let's pull this up. Let's read this here. So, according to Jordan Schultz, he do great work. He gonna find out everything between him, Rossini, and Rappaport. They gonna find out everything. So let's read this. So he said, my understanding of the Stefon Diggs situation is after the Cowboys finished their Christmas game versus the Commanders, Diggs requested head coach Brian Schottenheimer to stay in Washington for the holidays since he's from the area and his family stays there. Players often ask for and usually granted additional family time during the holidays if the schedule makes sense. Dallas played that Thursday. Shotty denied the request. Diggs again said he wanted to be with his family, and if he went back to Dallas, he'd just be flying right back on the first flight out, especially with players having several days off. The team denied his request again. And then today, the team released him. Diggs is healthy and ready to join a new team for the playoffs. Okay, I'm going to tell you why this happened. I'm about to tell you why this happened right here. This happened because they don't trust Stefon Diggs. Stefon Diggs has had a spotty behavioral record in Dallas since he's been drafted there. Does he have all the talent in the world? Yes, he does. Big corner, fast, this and this and that. But according to a lot of people that I know in that spot, reason why Stefon Diggs don't stay healthy and all of those things, they say that his conditioning has been bad. Conditioning's been bad. You had the whole thing where he shot the rap video with CD Lamb last year. So they feel like he has questionable decision making. That's what it is. And I think all of this is boiled up to the point that the Cowboys said, you can go. Because I want to say, let's go check. I want to go check his sport track. I want to see what his salary was. Has he got paid yet? I can't even remember. Let's see here. Okay, let's see. Let's see what they're saying here. Okay, let's put this on the screen here. Now this is the Houston Times. What is this? I don't know what this is. In the Houston? I don't know. Whatever. But they say the Dallas Cowboys reportedly released quarterback Stefon Diggs on Tuesday. According to ESPN's Todd Archer, Diggs signed a 5-year, $97 million contract extension with the team just 2 years before he was released. So let's see. Before entering the free agent market, Diggs will be open to the waivers. According to ESPN's Phil Yates, Diggs' contract requires a team to pay his base salary of $472,000 for Week 18 and pretty much $60,000 if he's active on game day. Let's see here. Yeah, see, here's the thing. This is what I was telling you about. They had to put workout clauses in his contract. So that tells you everything you need to know about what was going on with Trevon Diggs. They had enough of them. So all the privileges that players usually get, he wasn't getting. So it says he also received an injury guarantee of $9 million for 2025 that was set up to vest in the year 2025. However, the Cowboys cut Diggs before it fully locked in. So not only did the Cowboys get rid of him, but they took a lot of that guaranteed money back and cutting him. Said, however, in 2025, the Cowboys exercised the workout clause provision in Diggs' contract after he did not meet the required percentage of all-season training at the team facilities, resulting in a $500,000 reduction to the base salary. Man. Since he signed the contract, he's only appeared in 21 of the 50 games with only 3 interceptions and 25 tackles. Woo. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I ain't going to get Dallas full credit, but Dallas need to get off of him. It's just what it is. Dallas had to get up off that problem. That's a problem right there. Whether you want to agree with it or not. Anytime they take a workout clause, they put workout clauses in your contract, that means you ain't dedicated to the game. The game that pays you, that gives you the livelihood that you want, so you could drive your fancy Rolls Royces or whatever it is you want to drive. Not my cup of tea if I had it, but whatever. You do what you want to. It gives you your way of life, your quality of life. And you can't meet the off-season programs? I'm telling you, they looked at him and they said, man, you have enough time off. They wanted to see him say, you know what, I'm going to have to sacrifice a holiday and come on back into the organization to get healthy, work out. I mean, he acted like you ain't had but one game left. You had one game left, man. You've been out all season. Your family ain't seen you enough. You ain't played but 21 of the last 50 games, man. Your family ain't seen you enough. This is a guy who just don't want to play. What you see? What you say? Never saw him play much at all, to be honest. Good riddance. Listen, this looked like a screaming diva situation right here. Entitlement. Because it definitely wasn't about him not having the talent. He had the talent. This is a guy who just don't want to play football. It's simple as that. He don't want to play football. He's telling everybody to their face, I don't want to play football. Now maybe some team pick him up because they can pick him up dirt cheap because Dallas was still on the hook for some of that money. But he's not a guy that I could trust. I wouldn't be trying to build no future, as a football player with him. Because as soon as he got paid, he got lazy. He got fat and happy. whether you want to, say he was injured or not. Like I said, from what I've heard, he's a guy that does what he wants. He doesn't take the game serious. All the extracurricular stuff is the stuff that he cares about more. So, was Brian Schottenheimer right in what he did? Absolutely. I just want to spend time with my family. Man, you'll spend enough time with your family. You had enough time to spend with whoever you wanted to. We ain't seen you on the field since Troy Aikman was in Dallas. You ain't had enough time. You need to come on back. And then if you want to go, you go. You think you about to get special privileges. Man, this fool crazy. You had like Dallas was going to the playoffs. That was Christmas Day. Y'all got one more week after that. You're going to be able to visit whoever you want to visit. You're going to have a whole offseason. But you talking about visiting them for the weekend. Man, here we go. We got another Bernie Madoff. Ride the Dallas Cowboys blind. Even though they give up the money willingly. But still. Crazy. And you complaining. Man, the entitlement. What is going on? Dallas made the right move. Cut that headache. Don't give him another dollar, in my opinion. That's a headache right there. Man, please. Right? That's a headache. That's a headache. Who wants to go through that? For real. I mean, now if a team had to pick them up going into the playoff run, if you feel like you get something out of them for a game or so, and you ain't got to pay them much or nothing, then I guess that's okay. Maybe look at somebody like the Buffalo Bills who just seem like they can't get healthy for nothing, especially on that defensive end. Maybe you feel like you can, get something out of them for that run, then okay. You know. So we gonna see. This is enough. He needs to go home though. But somebody gonna give him a chance though. Someone's going to give him a chance. Uh, so we're about a minute and 20 into the show. So we gotta talk about the last. I think this is probably gonna be our last thing. And if y'all got any questions in the chat, hey, be more than free to leave it in the chat, and I will answer. Um, Matthew Stafford definitely hurt his MVP case. Definitely hurt his MVP case throwing 3 picks last night. I think he had it all but locked up. It was all but locked up. And he had a rough one last night. And I think, the Rams defense, which has been really, really, really good, got gashed. Bijan Robinson was running all over the place last night. And it kind of gave you some concerns. So now that Matthew Stafford kind of took a crap in the bed last night, I think you got to look at Drake May. Drake May for the MVP. I think he's the guy you got to look at. I think Matthew Stafford's still in there. He just had a rotten game. It was just the wrong time. And I'm looking at the odds. This will tell you where it's been a down year, especially at the quarterback position. Excuse me. Trevor Lawrence is number 3 according to the Vegas odds. What? Yeah, okay. Then you got Josh Allen and Caleb Williams rounding out the other four. So you got Drake May, Matthew Stafford, Trevor Lawrence, Josh Allen, and Caleb Williams. Yeah, Matt had that one in the bag. He had that one in the bag. That was his. That was his MVP. All he had to do was play decent. He played so bad that first half. So Drake May is more than likely going to win it. And good for him, but Drake May has played great. But Matthew Stafford had that MVP in the bag for about the last 3-4 weeks. He did. And he fumbled that one badly, so yeah, he up out of here. So I appreciate you guys stepping in. We did about a minute. Holy smokes. We did about an hour and a quarter here. No, we got New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. We will probably do a show tomorrow. We'll do a show tomorrow. And appreciate it. Thank you. Number one. We'll probably do a show tomorrow. It ain't a probably about. We'll do a show tomorrow. 7:00, 7:15. That's the window we in. That pretty much won't change unless it's something special going on. Again, like I said, we build this brick by brick, and I appreciate everybody being in here. So we'll do a show tomorrow, and then Thursday we probably won't do a show. Now, everybody will probably be kind of relaxing, and if you want one, leave it in the comments after the show for New Year's Day or whatever the case may be. Then we may try to figure out how to work it in. Like I said, I know a lot of people like to kind of kick back and relax. If you want to kick back and relax with me, let me know, and I pull up and we'll do something. But for the most part, we'll have a show Wednesday. We'll probably be off Thursday. We're definitely coming back for Friday. I want to say we got what? Do we got college football the weekend coming up? I mean, Friday. As far as playoff games, I want to say we do. We're going to talk about all these matchups for the AFC and the NFC. There's some games, some big games on the line. So I'll save that. We'll make some picks. There's something always going on with football. Maybe we even pull somebody on sometime this week or next week. We'll figure it out. Community. We're growing. I appreciate everybody that's been in here. Ride with me. Like I said, we had the ground floor. We building. I really enjoy doing it. I really enjoy hanging out with the community, creating this live show. Like I said, we'll be adding more things as 2026 rolls around. It's going to be a lot of more things that we bring to the table. It's going to really feel like a full show. So I'm glad for the ones who've been here, who's starting at the bottom with me. I don't know if I talked about it, but I'll bring it up real quick. And it's not a thing or whatever the case may be, but we building this channel back up. The channel was rolling; it was starting to grow. YouTube had whatever YouTube had going on. It kind of kicked the channel's butt. And we said we gonna bounce back. So we bouncing this channel back. We're growing this channel back. Like I said, tell a friend and tell a friend. Y'all into football, you know, we may add some little sprinkles of certain other things in here and there. Not too much. This is football. Might, if you're a video game player, I'm a video game player. We might talk a little something in some type of little segment. But I'm trying to figure all that stuff out now. But I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys, people in here. We trying to grow this thing. And if you like what you hearing, like what you seeing, don't be afraid to like, subscribe, share, because we want to make this a big thing. I'm independent. I'm doing this independently. This isn't, I don't have no backing. I am the backing, and y'all the backing. So this is what we gonna do. I told you I was gonna be here. I'm here. Now it's your turn to come too, and we'll go for the ride together. So again, appreciate you guys as always. Well, we'll do this again. We'll do this again tomorrow, between 7 and 7:15. I'll have it scheduled. It's either gonna be 7 o'clock or gonna be 7:15, but we'll be in that area. So this is our time to do this. And as we continue to keep growing this thing, the show's going to last longer and longer, and there's going to be more things to the show. So, listen, again, I appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me. I'm going to say it again. We're going to do this again. And I'll see you guys tomorrow around 7 o'clock, 7:15. Just make sure you check the YouTube page. And we going to get there. So, appreciate you guys. Have a good night. Be blessed. Sit back and relax, do that. So, to the next episode. Peace.